This is a really good question. So I couldn't always differentiate it. I've been channeling trickles of information here and there my entire life and never realized it. Like, for example, when I took psychedelics, there was a voice that would come to my head. But it never, like, announced itself as anything. It just felt like it was my own thoughts, but, like, a little bit deeper and, like, a little bit not quite me. I don't know how to explain it. It was just, like, I could just tell it was, like, opening parts of my brain that I didn't have access to before. So I actually stopped psychedelics quite a bit of time before I started channeling. I broke all these major karmic cycles in my life, and then all of a sudden I started to get this, like, inkling to start posting on TikTok. Like, I started to get this, like, it wasn't a voice in my head. It was just this, like, intuitive gut feeling of, like, being drawn to share my story of healing on TikTok, because at that point I had felt like I had healed a lot and I had a lot of good information to share, perspectives and stuff. Then, like, 2 or 3 months into it, you know, it's really interesting, actually, because my ex, twin flame, right? I had a karmic twin flame. When we got back together, because I had separated from him, like, multiple times, I started channeling a little bit, getting the inkling, started posting on TikTok, and then I got back together with him. And the night that he came over and we reunited, right? Because we had been broken up for like a month or something. That's when I started to fully channel. So, like, it was like a kundalini type shit. But I didn't have, like, 222 on the clock. I didn't have, like, nothing go up my spine or tingle my head or none of that shit. I just, like, all of a sudden I started to, like, hear this voice in my head. And it came in as God. That's what it said it was. And then it revealed immediately the truths of the Matrix to me. So it was like, how the Bible got corrupted by Christians and Jewish people back in the 1500s, and the atomic bomb was when the Galactic Federation decided to send in the starseeds, and that's, like, how we ended up here and all that stuff. So it was, like, it was, like, hours of information that God channeled to me about. Also Hitler, I got some stuff about him, and Genghis Khan and other types of souls like that. And then I got a little bit about Jesus' time, and then I got a little bit about the aliens as well, about open contact and how that was going to look. And that's basically, my channels have, you know, just expanded deeply on that. But it's this, like, it's this voice that comes in my head that is not my own thoughts, because I've been very, very deeply analytical and intellectual my entire life. I have always been having conversations in my head with my own thoughts constantly my whole life. And I thought that everybody was like this, but no, turns out not. And so that's how I can really distinguish it. It's the best way I can describe it, is because I've been doing it so much with myself. Because what would happen before, this is what would happen, is I would, like, ask a question, because I was constantly asking questions all the time. I was always like, what the fuck is going on? And why is this person acting like this? And what the fuck are they doing? I was kind of like, you know, judge, jury, and executioner. But it was more like I was trying to interpret my reality, because I was very different from the reality that I was, like, existing in. And so then I had to, like, interpret why I felt different than everybody else. And I interpreted it as all their projections and all their bullshit onto me, but it was really just because I was actually a different person. I'm a starseed, light worker type of thing, 444, as I say this. And so I would ask questions and there would be, like, no answers. And that was, like, my whole life. I would just, you know, be constantly just asking questions. when I started to channel, I would start asking questions and there would be fucking an answer to my questions. And it's my own voice, my own thoughts now. I don't know how to explain it. It's not like a different person's voice. It's like my voice. It's like the way I would also think. And that's why I think it's us from the seventh dimension more than I think it's God. I mean, technically it is God. It's like this whole fucking thing. Because it has my personality. That's how it comes in. It comes in like funny. It comes in like sarcastic. It comes in kind of like interesting. It's like doesn't. But it also comes in the way that I can interpret God as well. So that's also why I do think it's both the seventh dimensional higher self and also God because of the way that I channel with God now. Like I have this like more, again, dualistic view of God where Christians really purify God and he's like this all loving person who would never hurt you and it's Satan if you're being hurt. Where like I'm like, no dude, the whole thing's God, all of it's God, even Satan. And God created all of this, and we have to take accountability for the part that we decide to play in it and decide that he part of playing it, and like that's how you forgive everything and all this shit. And so it's also information that I don't know. So that's how I also know it's not me. You know what I'm saying? Like when I first, because like I didn't know any of this shit about any of this stuff that I've channeled. I knew like a little bit about some stuff. Like I'd heard Dolores Cannon talk about soul contracts or things like that, but like I didn't know the in-depth meaning to it or anything like that. Or quantum physics. I didn't know anything about quantum physics. I got all those downloads. I didn't know shit ass about the manipulation of the Bible. I didn't know any of this stuff that I got. I didn't know why my life was so horrible. Like all this crazy shit. So it's information that I don't know that I'm channeling. And a lot of it's about my own life. So that's why it's, like, kind of confusing. Like, people just assume that I'm, like, this, like, super deeply analytical person. But sometimes it is just channeled information that God's now giving me about my own life. That's why I'm able to reflect on it. Because God will give me, like, the answers. He's like, yeah, that's why that person acted a fucking fool in your life. I'm like, no shit. No way. I always knew something was up with that, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And that's basically, like, what it is now for me. And when I first started channeling, I could, like, channel people's, like, loved ones. Like, my ex, for example, like, his grandpa came in one of the first days that I had this channeling start happening to me, where it was, like, a flood. Like, it would... So what happened was, too, is, like, this flood of information. I cannot turn mine on and off. People talk about that on here. Like, they can just turn their gifts on and off. I certainly cannot. Mine never go off. It just turned on one day and it never stopped. And, like, this is just what I've become and what I have to deal with now. I've like, begged them to shut the fuck up. No, they won't shut the fuck up. So, anyway, it's fine. It is what it is. Because I'm not, like, constantly, channeling all the time. But I do channel, like, quite a bit. And, my ex's, like, grandpa came in and, like, told on him. Because, like, we were trying to, like, eat healthy. And he was like, you need to tell him to stop eating purple Pop-Tarts. And I've already told this story. And I was like, what do you mean? Purple Pops? And I told him. I was like, your grandpa says stop eating purple Pop-Tarts. And he was like, how did you know I was eating purple Pop-Tarts? Because, like, we live separate. So, like, the Pop-Tarts were, like, at his house. And he was at, like, my apartment at the time. And he didn't bring over... I've never seen him eat purple Pop-Tarts before. I'd never even seen him eat Pop-Tarts. So it was, like, weird like that. Or, like, I channeled his best friend's, like, favorite candy and favorite, like, fruits and all this weird shit. Weird stuff that I could channel in the beginning. That was really just to solidify to myself that I was a medium and I could call in information that I did not know. Because I was going to really doubt the information that God was going to start giving me. So that's why I'm realizing he did that at the beginning, because he needed me to, like, believe in my abilities as a otherwise I would have, like, totally thought I was, like, going into psychosis. I did think I was going into psychosis, but I also was like, I don't think I would question me going into psychosis. So I think the rationale that I have is enough to convince me that I'm not going into psychosis. But it's a potential possibility. Now it's healed me, so I know it wasn't psychosis, because it's, like, literally healed my brain and my nervous system. It kind of sounds like psychosis, but it's not, because it's literally healed me. So I'm like, how can it be psychosis if I'm literally like more rational and calm over a Viperin? I'm like more emotionally regulated, you know?